How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to come on and have a quick chat. Yeah, and well done on all your performances of late, Gary. It's been amazing to watch New Zealand on fire.
I think it's nice reward for these group of guys as well who have worked really, really hard over a long period of time and have probably come up just short a couple of times. Yeah. But it's through not a lack of effort or anything like that. They're a great bunch of guys. They're very, very proud of playing for New Zealand as well. And it's something that's, really special to be part of.
I don't know Kane that well, but I had the good fortune of being able to chat to him a couple of months ago, and I was incredibly impressed with him as a human being.
Yeah, he's a great person. I mean, he leads well within our group, and I really, really enjoy working with him, and I guess his philosophies on the game. And I think we're very aligned around how we go about or what we want to achieve. We don't always have the same track to get there, but I mean, that's part of the growing the relationship as well.
Do you find that you guys complement each other well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm a planner. I like to have things set out, and Kane's likes just talking through. He doesn't like seeing the paperwork too much. So I think that's probably a good mix to us as well. But we've got the same, I guess, interests and heart, and that is New Zealand and the Black Caps team doing well. And I think that's really important to us as a partnership and relationship between the two of us as well. There's certainly no conflict or anything in what we're trying to achieve as a group.
And Gary, you've got a nice depth in your team, huh? I mean, you've got I guess you've got quite a challenge with picking an 11 at the moment.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we've been lucky to pick up a Devon Conway, for example, in the last wee while from South Africa, as you know, and Devon's made every post a winner in all international cricket for us. And where we bat him, I guess, would be part of the jigsaw that we end up working out. We tried a couple of things in our lead up to the World Cup, knowing that the conditions might be different, and so tried Devon as an opener as well, and actually put the gloves on him as well. He's not a natural keeper at all, but I'm not sure you always need that in T20 cricket. So, we've got some good, I guess, discussions to have. It's that balance, isn't it, between giving security to the guys in the positions that they have and them being comfortable in that, but also being brave enough to make, I guess, changes if you need to as well, and recognise that on certain pitches that you might have other people in your team or your squad that provide better options. And that's something that I know Kane and I will have a lot of discussion around.
Yeah, it's crazy the short format, isn't it? Because it's, as you say, finding that balance between just letting guys go and take on the risk that they need to take on, but knowing that you've got some good depth in the hut, and like at what point you make any shifts, and it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and there's never a right or wrong way around it either. Yeah. It's a different opinion of doing it, and I guess what you want to do as a coach is put odds in your favour, and that's all I guess you try and do with your decision making around it as well. Is say, how do we give ourselves the best chance of or achieving right now the goals that we want to, and that may be, I mean, as you know, you're certainly well averse in this, but it may be you want to bring a bowler back earlier in the spell because you don't want them bowling at the end, so you try and create different pressures in the game. And I guess they're the idiosyncrasies of being a coach, and how you manipulate that with your players as well as part of the fun of it all.
Gary, I had in the 100, I had the good fortune of working with Glenn Phillips, who I really enjoyed. Actually, he's quite a wacky, eccentric kind of guy, isn't he? But
absolutely,
yeah, he was great in the group. I enjoyed having him around.
I think Glenn Phillips is going to go a long way in the short format in particular. I think, I mean, you would have seen he loves bowling. Yeah. He hasn't been a frontline bowler or anything yet, but I think his ambition and that around it is such that he could get there. He scored an amazing 100 last year against the West Indies for us, and was the fastest New Zealand T20 100 that there's been. And he is, if he's not the best fielder in the world, I'd like to see a better one. energy he brings into a team is really special. And yeah, we love Glenn about, as you say, he's a bit eccentric, he's a bit different, but that's part of what makes him as well. And I think that's the cool part about it.
In our last 100 game, he played an incredible innings. He got 80 and I don't know, 35, 40 balls, but it wasn't just the power with which he hits the ball, the quickness of his hands was just incredible. It was great to watch. Great to watch.
Yeah, we're a team now and a squad that's got a lot of guys between that sort of 29 to 33 age group, and Glenn's different from that. He's younger, so he's our future. We've got to keep finding ways that we can keep promoting that too.
Yeah. Gary, tell me, what are your guys in preparation for this tournament? What are your guys' priorities? I mean, it's so difficult with international teams, with players all over the place. What would your priorities be over the next couple of days and weeks?
Just really getting the guys together again. And as I said, it's the first time we've been together for a period of time. So getting to enjoy each other's company again, start a little bit of training. We've got three games leading into our first game. And then just training and adapting to the three different surfaces, and quite different surfaces here as well. So getting really clear on the roles that we see guys playing and trying to replicate those surfaces as much as we can on what we're given.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, the conditions do play a massive role in your game strategies, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Massively. I mean, Abu Dhabi, if you get there on a night where there might be a bit of dew in that as well, it could be a 170, 180 pitch versus Sharjah at the moment. The last couple of games I've watched, KKR scored 170 there last night, but it was probably 30 or 40 more than what you would expect the way the pitch was playing. So, and the other thing that's been interesting for me is that spin hasn't played quite as much as a part of I thought it might be as either. And so it's about balancing out that squad as well and what that looks like on some surfaces.
Yeah, you certainly would have been pleased to see our Lucky Ferguson's performances last night. He bowled beautifully, didn't he?
Yeah, he bowled. I had a chat with Lockie actually just a few minutes ago, and I just wondered, because the hamstring was his first game back, whether he just ran in slightly slower and the rhythm looked really good. So he's certainly got some X factor with the pace that he's got, and he's become a fine white ball bowler for us.
Interesting listening to his interview where he just said, I thought he was really articulate, and he spoke about the wicket just allowed us to be quite consistent in our game plans. We could stick to plan A, which I really like.
Yeah, well, that wicket in Sharjah to me looked like you didn't have to try too much. You just needed to hit the pitch hard, and there was enough down more than up, I suppose, with the surface that the stumps looked like they were in play a lot more than normal as well. So made it tough for scoring, but it also showed KKR batted beautifully. I mean, they still got a good partnership up front and set that platform, but it does look like a wicket to me that you don't want to get too far behind the run rate if you're chasing it all. You have to be up with it. I think asking your lower order to come in and hit from early on is going to be really tough on that wicket.
And Gary, just one final question, without giving kind of any team secrets or whatever, what do you think you guys need to do to have a real good crack at this tournament?
In our pool, I mean, we play Pakistan and India first up, and then we've got two qualifiers after that. I suspect one of them will be Bangladesh as well. And then we have Afghanistan. So it's a very subcontinental looking pool that we are in. Yeah. I think the first couple of games are going to be crucial for us, that we start well, that hopefully we can get the results that we want on the board and then sort of get into the tournament. For us, I guess focusing on what we do well as a team and knowing those things is really important to us. So making sure that we're playing to our strengths first and foremost, then just manipulating around what the opposition and then what the pitch tells us to do will be important. But I mean, our key goal will be trying to get out of this pool stage for a start. If you get to that final four, then you're only 2 games away from winning a World Cup, and I guess that'll be the goal of everyone. We just have to be a little bit better on the day than the opposition, and making sure that we get that W next to our name.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one where each team kind of has their own strengths, isn't it? And then they want to play to those strengths, but at the same time, you might be up against a Bangladesh team or one of the subcontinent teams, and they've got 4 or 5 spinners that they're going to use in the game. How do you kind of work that out within the balance of your team?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, at the end of the day, we will have I guess an 11 that we think, or 12 that we think will be close to what we want to play, and then our scouting will work out, I guess, what we think the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition are, and we try and devise a strategy around how we attack that as well. Yeah. So I say attack it, sometimes it's about defending it as well, working out how you need to defend against the opposition and who are their key players and how you think they'll play. But we try and go in with not overthinking, not having too many plans. We don't want too much analysis to halt the naturalness of the players. So we still want guys to go out there, read the situation, and it's something we try and pride ourselves on, is the ability to adapt to what's in front of us. And I think under Kane, I think he's one of the best in the world at it. I think his ability to read what a pass score is on the wicket and get the team very close to that is one of his real strengths as a player as well. And then hopefully we have the freedom of the mind of the other players around them to just be able to play, and him to be able to help us get to where we need to from a runs point of view.
Gary, it's been a real treat to have you on the platform. This is a coaching platform, so we reach out to a coaching community. So I would love you just to have one parting thought to the coaches. I mean, if you were to advise a young coach, what would be a priority coaching philosophy or coaching value? What message would you pass on?
I think my philosophy has changed a lot over the years as well, and as I've grown and through the different teams that I've been involved in. So like many young coaches, I started coaching at primary schools and worked my way through, and I've been lucky enough to now have nearly 7 or 8 years of international coaching when you look at the women's team and the men's teams for New Zealand. So I think the key thing for me is being able to read the people in front of you and understand what it is they actually need. So you have your own way and your own style of doing things, but I think the best coaches can see and read the group and what they actually need. And that's through asking good questions and being a really good listener as well, understanding where the player's coming from, what they're looking for, what's their motivations as well. So I see my main role is just adding a little bit more to the players for them to be able to get the best out of themselves. I don't have to have all the answers. I need to be a good asker of questions, though. So the ability to listen and ask good questions, I think, is really important.
Yeah, I love that kind of curiosity as a coach, isn't it? Just to keep going down the levels of being curious, I think is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, I don't have to know all the answers. And what I want to, I guess, get through with my questions is for the players to keep being curious as well, is to keep asking, why do I do that? Why does it work for me? Why doesn't it work? So then you start that whole self-reflective process, and which I think is so important for players improving. It's that ability to learn.
Gary, brilliant to have you on this session, and thanks for your time. And good luck. I mean, I've been fascinated at your guys' progress over the last few years. Well done. I've connected with on these short format circuits with a couple of the New Zealand players. Enjoy every one of them. So I just wish you well.
Thanks very much, Gary. Appreciate it, mate.